It is so clear I'm doing it right, how I'm doing my podcast. That's what we're going to talk about today. It's so clear I am doing it right. I'm doing my podcast, how I'm doing my podcast. I do not need to change. And that feels good. Listen in. You know, when someone is selling from stage and at the end, the audience gets up and rushes to the back of the room to buy? That's a table rush. My name is Misha Z, and the Table Rush Talk Show is all about bringing you the tools, strategies, and tactics that you can use to grow your audience and inspire them to buy. In my prayer and meditation this morning, I listened to an episode that I did. Now and then I'll listen to my own episodes. It's kind of fun to hear myself talk. I encourage everybody to listen to their own episodes. It has served me so well. I get to pull out things that I think resonate. I get to refine the way I tell stories. I get to test and try. It's definitely served me very well just to let it rip. I made a commitment when I first started the podcast, coming up on 3 years ago now, almost 600 episodes. What am I at, 590 or something like that? I made a commitment to myself to post whatever I had recorded, almost no matter what. And I believe there's only one or two things that I've recorded that I didn't post or publish. Publish is a better word. And I like that. I'm actually kind of proud of that. And I would encourage anybody who thinks they have something that they want to say, or a calling, or they're called, or like, I should start a podcast, or I should start a blog and start writing, or I should start that YouTube channel. I would encourage you to do it. Where was I going with that thought loop? Yeah, I just have pretty much published everything, and it served me. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I lost track. I actually hit pause for a second. It is good to hit pause for a second, although sometimes I won't. Can you handle the uncomfortable silence? So what I was going to say is, if you have something that you think needs to be heard, you kind of got to talk. You've kind of got to put your message out there, and you've got to say something to be heard. And so I would encourage you again to just start. So in my prayer and meditation this morning, I listened to an episode, and it was actually an episode that I thought that might have been a bad episode, whatever that means. But I listened to it and I actually really liked it. And I was like, you know what? I like the way that came out. It was the episode. Where it was test the live, or where I was testing the Facebook Live to see if you could toggle back and forth between your Facebook Live and your notes on your iPhone. So if you were doing a live stream, could you toggle back and forth? Anyway, you can listen to that episode and see the results, what the results were. And I was listening to it on double speed or whatever. And I was like, you know what? That was pretty good. I needed myself to hear that and to remember the power of that you can switch back and forth between the live and the notes, and what the implications were for that, and how it in effect is auto editing for you. And I thought, yeah, I like that. And then it hit me very, very strongly that it was a clear message. Someone needs to hear what I'm doing. Somebody needs to hear what I'm doing. And yeah, clear message. And basically, I have this in my prayer and meditation. Well, first off, let me finish. I actually had written down a note about this because it was very striking in the morning. And basically, it was a clear message. Someone needs to hear what I'm doing, even if it's just me. And testing and trying is so fun. If I can let go of expectations and I can test, try, and learn, it's so, so powerful. And I really have to thank Stu McLaren for that. That's just really, I've heard that message so loudly and strongly of late. And coming from him, I jumped in what's called as the membership experience to help you build a membership, which is what I'm doing, and it's going great. But yeah, so someone needs to hear what I'm doing, even if it's just one person. Someone somewhere needs to hear what I'm doing, and that is enough for me. I'll also say this. I had this awareness too, separating out the podcast from everything else I do. It's just very clear that the notoriety and the authority and the a podcast gives you so much. It gives me so much. And people, again, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. People don't even need to listen to it. Just the fact that you have it and have been doing it for a while is extremely powerful. Yeah. So a couple things, and then I will let everybody get back to their day. If you want to be heard, you've got to start talking. If you have a message that you want people to hear, you've got to start putting it out there. So start putting it out there. And then test and try. It's so fun. If you can let go of expectations, test, try, and learn. Oh yeah, I know what I was going to say. This these frameworks that I came up for staying in the moment, for staying centered, for living a clean, good life. No holds barred, no compromise, centered, moving from the heart, moving from source, moving from God. Say it however you want, say it however you want, which actually reminds me of another diversion. But fine, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But I am gonna tell you the frameworks. My CTA framework, clean framework, and Apple framework. CTA, clean, and Apple. But before I get to that, you know what? I'll save it for another episode. What I was gonna say about I'll tease it about I have a coach, and he basically says, hey, he's under the impression that some people don't care nor need to hear about the spiritual side of things. Right? And I'm like, that might be your audience. My audience, they will groove on it just fine. They do need to hear about it, and they do want to talk about it. I'll save that for another episode. So anyway, CTA, a lot of people know that as call to action, but I look at it this way. It's the universe's call to action to you. It is your call to action for clean thinking and acting. CTA, clean thinking and acting. That's what I want in my life. I want to be clean. I want my thinking and acting to be clean thoughts and actions. So I am moving cleanly. No soiled motives, no ulterior motives, no agendas. I know I'm human, so it's by no means going to be perfect, but I want to progress towards that. And so clean stands for centered. What does it stand for again? Hold on, give me a second. Centered, loving, clean, centered, loving, energized, aligned, and clean. No compromise. That's what clean stands for. Centered. So I want to be grounded and centered in my thoughts. I just want to be, peaceful. That's another way to say it. Centered, grounded, and maybe not even grounded, because I don't mind the ungrounded thoughts where it's more, ungrounded. I think centered's better. Just centered, moving from the heart, centered, heart centered, and then loving. I want to be loving. I want to lead with love as much as I can. Lead with love. I want to be energized. I want to feel like I'm inspired, energized in my actions and thoughts, like that positive God momentum, that God energy, and then aligned. I want to be what I'm doing to be aligned with that deep down knowing, that heart center. I want to be aligned with that in my thoughts, actions, feelings, those sorts of things. And I want to be revitalized. When I wake up again in the morning, I want to be revitalized. And apple. No, that's clear. Sorry. You could be clear thinking. Clean. N is no. That's right. N is no compromises. No, no compromises. It's funny. I'm just looking through my notes again. No negotiations. That's what it is. No negotiations. For a while I was doing clear. But I was like, clean. I like clean. I'm committing to clean. I thought people wouldn't resonate with clean, but heck with it. And then apple. I like to acknowledge source, acknowledge in the moment where perhaps I'm in upheaval. So acknowledge, then pause, then pray. That's the APP, Apple APP. Acknowledge, pause, pray, listen, and then listen to what source is telling me. And then execute on that. And execute could be or do. Sometimes it's like just be okay in the moment. You don't have to do anything. But sometimes it's do. It is doing. It's a doing. I need to go do and take action. So there you go. There's my CTA, my clean, and my Apple frameworks. So in the middle of that, I run through that in the morning. How can I make the day better? I check the box. I write down in the box 2 things that I can make the day better. One is smile and say hi. And then one is CTA, clean thinking and acting. And then what's clean mean? What's Apple mean to me? And in that prayer and meditation, in that state, in that moment, as I'm running through all that, the message came. It's so clear I'm doing it right. How I'm doing my podcast. Clear message. Someone needs to hear what I'm doing. That's what I've got for you, my heart-centered entrepreneur friends, or anybody that's just wanting to groove a little bit this day. Anyway, have a good day out there. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Table Rush Talk Show. For resources to help you sell your stuff, go to belove.media/resources. That's belove.media/resources. And be sure to subscribe, comment, 5-star, and share. Thank you again for listening.